do this.
Let's go.
This is the 5 on 5 podcast presented to you by directmusicservice.com. Use the promo code 5on5 FIVEON FIVE to save some money on some DJ edits. Your first month, 30% off. I'm one of your hosts, Phenom. Down the street from me, Nick Lopez. Down the street from him, Jupiter Williams. And our very special guest today. This is long overdue. You know, even back when we had Show You Suck on the podcast, we were like, we got to get Psalm 1 on the show. We have Psalm 1 on the show. Make some noise.
Boom, 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 boom.
Psalm.
Yeah.
Psalm in the fucking building. We're so happy to have you here.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Now, you were out last night. You just told us you were you hit the Chicago Sky game. Big WNBA fan or what?
I'm a big basketball fan, and I love basketball. I don't care who's playing it. Space Jam, Aliens, whoever to it. And
Aliens.
So go Sky.
Aliens are the most unsurprising thing right now, right? Everybody's like, I got shit to do, man.
I'm like, come today. So I got rent to pay tomorrow. You feel me?
Everyone's trying to hear about
rent's still due on the first, man. I don't give a damn about no alien. Unless they're coming with some tax relief, I don't give a damn.
Damn about an alien. Well, we're stoked to have you here. Like I said, long overdue. We have a lot we want to talk about today, but I want to kind of start from the top here. I want to start brand new news before we get into your history and some of your highlights and some of your career moments. I want to talk about your stance, everyone's stance on the Cardi B incident. Let's get into it right off the bat.
Just what happened with the water or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, so apparently the Twitter, I'm sorry, X detectives.
Okay, yeah, right.
This
is the first time I've ever had to do that in conversation.
The worst. You know what? I'm just gonna call it Twitter. Fuck all that.
Mama name it Twitter. I'm gonna call it Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. So apparently she was telling people to splash water on her earlier in her set.
Oh.
And we're kind of like splashing water on her on some like, it's hot out here, you know, like here's a little cool off. And there is footage of her being like, yeah, splash me, baby, splash me. But I guess this last woman did it after the game. I guess, like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, splash me. But then like 5 minutes later, someone's late as hell splashing you.
She's like, I just got here.
I thought we were doing that.
She just got a text from the homie. Yo, we are throwing water on Cardi. This is lit. You got to get here.
Party rules.
Get her. I think I don't know. With that piece of information, I'm just kind of like, I think she's overreacting. But if without that piece of info, which has not been confirmed, but whoever,
right.
Without that piece of info, if it's just some random person like throwing water at you in the crowd, it's fucked up, man. Like it just seems like a lot of artists are going through that these days, where, you know, fans or maybe not fans are in the audience and they're just trying to get like that moment for their POV for their TikTok. Because I've seen a lot of stuff where like someone in the crowd will do something foul to an artist, but then like you'll get their POV and it'll be like everyone around them giggling. I have no idea. I feel like it speaks to the entitlement of some of the, you know, these new fans about like, you know, maybe they feel like I pay $150, $200 to see you perform. I get to throw my phone on stage or whatever. Somebody said it the other day, like, what happened to people just throwing their underwear on stage? Like, items.
Thank you.
It's a good segue to the Drake.
Drake's just getting underwear still.
Like, No, someone threw a phone. Someone threw a phone the other night, and he was just like, "Don't do that shit." You know?
Word.
And I think it's because this is my theory. My theory is some people saw like maybe a couple years ago, if you're close enough to the stage and close enough to the actual person performing, you hand them your phone. And then if they're nice, they'll like, you know, sing or whatever into your phone, and you'll have that like memory of this, you know, this artist singing to you in your phone. But that's like rare. And that's like if you're super close to the stage and if the artist obliges or isn't a good enough mood to do that. Because I know for me, I'm not famous at all, but if I'm rapping on stage and someone's like, so here, come on, man. You know what I mean?
It's goofy ass behavior,
yes,
probably because of something that happened one time and went viral.
yeah.
Where I don't know who did it, but Taylor Swift probably
I
grabbed
think I was
someone's
about to say, I think it
phone.
was a Swiftie. Yeah.
Yeah, and gives them back their phone, and now everybody's like, "Oh, they do that."
Like, I'm going like 5 rows back, 10 rows back, gonna throw my phone on stage.
Do it to me. Just fucking beam them with the iPhone 15 or whatever.
That Max comes in real
The Max
hot.
Pro just binking them. Yeah, like a boomerang.
With a fucking like pop socket on it and
Yeah. Your wallet explodes. All your credit information everywhere now.
What is wrong with people nowadays? Like, this is a new like this.
It's not new because we've seen athletes go through this too, right?
Athletes for sure.
Yeah. So
athletes get
maybe new for artists. And now
it's just so funny how
the
quickly
entertainment realm.
The way the public will receive a video like the said Swiftie thing or whatever, like an artist taking a phone, and now the public is like, oh, all artists do that. So we should just throw our phones at them and then they'll do it and then they'll throw it back.
Yeah. And like, how do you get your phone back if you're doing that like from far enough away? Like I don't think people are thinking this through. And I also think the virality, the possibility of virality gets them going. Like on that, like, all press is good press, you know? But it's not really press, it's just the internet.
It's not real.
Syndrome. It's the main character syndrome, right?
Because they think that they're going to get picked up after that, right? Is that the goal? That's the steps, right?
And like, what do you...
Now you're famous.
Yeah, you're famous. Yeah,
you're famous, and you're gonna get sponsorship. That's the. Is that?
Yeah,
I'm just trying to figure it out.
You're gonna get a fucking iPhone deal.
Yeah,
you're gonna be an influencer or something.
There you go.
Yeah,
and
so I think you were talking about. I think I heard you say, Phenom, main character syndrome. Like, like they're here to see. They're here to see this person sing to me. Not we're here to see this person sing. It's a weird thing.
I don't get it, man. And now people, I saw the other day, people are just filming themselves at Beyonce, just crying. Not even filming like Beyonce or anything, just like filming themselves. Like, it's a weird time. Or mad that Beyonce switches up parts of the song live, and then they're like, no, fuck.
Oh, because they can't sing along to it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that is crazy. So now artists are getting the DJ treatment.
Yeah. You know, someone was handing out cards that said like, when Beyonce says silence, they were handing out like business cards that says when Beyonce says silence in the song, be silent. And it's like they were handing that out before the show, and I'm like,
oh, that's the Hive.
It's wild out
well,
here.
I'm not in Beehive, but I'm gonna say this, okay? I did go to Beyonce in Chicago. I will say,
as you should.
it was amazing. The videos that I captured were like less than 10 seconds because I was literally like, I love this look, I love these visuals, this mashup I love. I want to capture a little bit of it for my memories.
Right.
And none of my videos were longer than 10, 20 seconds because I wanted to be in the moment. I didn't want to, we paid a lot of money for those seats, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm look at it through my phone, and I'm absolutely don't give a fuck. Like, there are a lot of people dressed up, and I love that sort of like, yeah, we're all dressing up to do this. Like, I dressed for comfort, and I definitely was like trying to be in the moment because Beyonce, I think, is one of our like last great, you know, iconic entertainers that is going to give you this sort of production value. And yes, I think there was like people not trying to have spoilers for the show. And then there's this part in this song, Energy, where she goes, everybody on mute. And I guess there was this thing where like in a lot of the cities, they're just trying to, it's like a fun game where they're trying to see how long the crowd could be on mute before they bring in this like heavy beat again. And some cities just missed it. But it's like, why be mean to people? Like, I went the first night in Chicago, and motherfuckers did not get it right. You know what I mean? Like, typically it was like, but I wasn't like upset about it, you know? And I heard a lot of people, how dare y'all not be quiet when she said be quiet? It's like,
Shut up.
Like, yeah. It was wild. And then the next night in Chicago, I saw a clip of them doing it right, I guess. And it was like, I was like, okay, well, we missed that, but I'm not gonna lie about it. You know what I mean?
It's so funny because like your gut reaction at a show when silence happens is applause.
Maybe to scream, yeah.
Yeah, like you're like, we can't have silence.
Yeah,
Woo!
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
They're like, no. She said
Yeah,
be
Queen
quiet.
Bee, you gotta switch it up,
Queen,
you know.
hey,
Everybody
Yeah.
on mute.
it's
Yeah.
the queen.
I hope you're all paying attention because she's giving directions during this show.
It's the queen.
It's the queen.
One out of 10. How are we ranking the Renaissance concert?
1 to 10?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say an 8 at least. I mean, I've seen Michael Jackson and Prince
Oh, okay.
and Stevie Wonder. These are my top 3. And
It's a good bar.
Those are the kings.
It's a good 3 bars.
Hey, yeah.
Chill top 3.
Yeah.
so
Couple
like
local
even
acts.
I just feel like Beyonce she's top for this generation.
Mhm.
And like, you know, I said to my mom, I said, she's this generation's Michael Jackson. And my mom was like, girl, relax. All right. That's just like, I'm telling you, she is
yeah.
this generation's Michael Jackson. She's not my generation's Michael Jackson.
Right.
Michael Jackson's Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
You know what I
We have
mean?
Michael
Like,
Jackson at home. We don't need.
basically. But
Yeah.
it's if you're talking hit after hit after hit, if you're talking production value, if you're talking
Longevity.
the best dancers, the best band,
Yeah.
like the best visuals. I mean, it's gonna be hard to beat. I wouldn't give it a 10 because it's like, how could it be perfect?
Sure.
Like,
Right.
that makes no sense. But
Sure.
like,
Damn
but
near.
it's up there.
Yeah.
It's up there. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so. She doesn't have an opener, right? Or maybe a DJ.
No, it's a DJ,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and then we wait and then I
Was she
knew I
on
was
time?
a Beyonce fan because it was just like, no, she was not on time, and it
No.
rained, so it was just like,
Ooh.
well, it was funny though because you see all these people who like spent a lot of money to not only be there but to look their best.
Ah,
Sitting
it'd
in
be
social
look.
building, and it starts to rain.
You know we don't like the rain.
All the black women were like,
Yeah.
tell me when the lights go out, because bitch, no. Like,
That concession stand was packed. Everybody's
was,
up there.
for sure.
That's
Yeah,
great.
some college scouts there, like, ooh, she ran a 4.4
Yeah.
in heels.
Damn.
but no, she was not on time. But it's like, come on, like,
A
I
rap show.
waited
It's a
3
rap
hours
show.
in
At the
line.
end of the day, it's a rap show.
and she was
Beyonce's gonna show up when she wants.
Yeah.
I love that. I think I waited 6 hours for a Cameron show one time in Chicago.
Damn.
And they were like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. came around, and I was like, this is long even by rap standards. I was like, everybody in the crowd was kind of like, we thought 3 hours, but then like 6, I was like, and I sat through a Yo Gotti show with like 12 openers, so that's a whole nother
Oh
story.
God.
By
Well,
the fifth
I mean, I saw
opener-
Lauren Hill, so
Oh, did she show up?
both times I've seen Lauren Hill, she was late.
Okay.
that
She was
makes
3,
sense.
but she showed up, but she was late. The first time she was 3 hours late. The second time was a festival, and I think she was like 1 hour late, so her set had to be cut short.
Mhm.
And she don't care.
She don't give a damn.
No, that bag still hit the bank account.
She don't
real
give a
quick.
damn, dog.
She doesn't have the rights to her songs, right? So she plays like different versions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a
Plays
lot.
different versions, and she changed her stage name, so it's not Lauren Hill, it's Miss Lauren Hill. So even if you
Mhm.
look her up on like streaming platforms, it's Miss Lauren Hill, so that way she can get paid.
What?
Yeah.
So
Loophole.
Lauren Hill is trademarked?
Yes,
It's also like she just had a lot of like tax stuff with her. Like
she got locked up for
papers.
her tax stuff.
Mm.
Yeah.
She
so,
wasn't. She
like,
just flat out was evading paying taxes, so she went to
Mhm.
jail for like I don't know how long, but she was in prison. For,
evading paying some of those producers too. But ooh,
Oh.
like as,
You know
as a
what's-
woman rapper, I can't be saying nothing. I'm gonna lose half my fan base if I say anything.
Hey, but that's real
Ah.
shit. That's real shit.
So I'm
Real
saying,
shit.
They gonna Doja Cat me.
Straight up.
Oh,
That's
No, but
different
Nah.
though. That's different though.
Not on
everyone
this
in
channel.
everyone in that crew, Praz, they
all
all
been to
went
jail.
through some shit, right?
All the Fugees have been to jail.
Wyclef.
No, Wyclef didn't go to jail, even though
Yeah, go to jail.
Has he
Wyclef,
got? He's gotten.
He got in trouble. They
Wyclef
got in
redacted,
trouble.
redacted,
like,
Haiti,
but-
redacted, Haiti.
That's
redacted.
what it was.
Yeah.
That's
There
what I was
it
like.
is,
He did some
yeah.
shady shit though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was combing through my mind, through the archives in my mind, to try to remember what happened. Haiti, the Haiti.
Yeah, I went to Haiti like 9 years ago, and I remember Wyclef came up in conversation. And they were like, "We don't speak of him."
Wow.
I was like, "What?"
Voldemort.
We have Voldemort.
Steal
Damn.
money from Haiti, though. Come on, man. It's
yeah,
like
I know.
give them
got-
every penny.
Heavy.
He has take for that's wild.
is wild.
Yo,
Should we get into the pick?
Let's
let's
do
get
it.
into the pick. Around here, what we do every week, we pick 2 artists to go head to head. It gets weird. You're gonna pick a this or that song. We're gonna go 5 rounds where you choose which song you like from each round.
Okay.
Neek's pick today. Neek, what do you got for us?
Today we are doing Trick Daddy versus Project Pat.
Oh, okay. I like
Alright.
this.
Let's go.
No rhyme or reason. I just had another pick and
I love how he picks the most ratchet shit for me. Come on, I love
Yeah,
it.
But this is just for Psalm, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's
So
get it.
I mean, if
only-
you guys want,
yeah,
if you
I
guys
mean,
want to get in,
No, I'll chime in. I'll chime in.
yeah. Okay, go ahead. Round 1.
Round 1, Project Pat, Life We Live versus Trick Daddy, Let's Go, featuring Twista and Little John. Psalm, you go first.
I gotta go Trick Daddy on that one
Mm-hmm.
for the Twista feature.
Same. That's what I was about
Hey.
to say.
God, that was such a monumental
Yeah.
pairing. All 3 of those guys.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
was that Lil Jon screaming on there?
Uh-huh.
And yeah, Trick Daddy and Twista. Was someone else on there too? Was there a 4th person?
No, I don't think
Uh-uh.
so.
Just
Unless
those
there was
3?
like a remix or something.
Probably like Pitbull on the remix.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Something
Yeah.
like
Every
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Mr.
Fucking Flow Rider.
305.
Love him.
yeah. Yeah. Round 2, what we got?
Round 2, we got Project Pat, Take the Charge versus Trick Daddy, I'm a Thug.
I mean, you gotta
I
go
gotta go Trick Daddy again. This sucks because I just love that the kids singing.
Yeah.
Kid sample.
Mhm.
Kid samples on like really, really like ratchet shit. It just warms.
It'd
my
be
Classic.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. Travis, same.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe because I'm a thug.
I
And
love
the-
this era
and the
Trick
fake
too.
Strings and the
Yeah. And it was such a summer
Yeah.
song too. Like it came out like right when school got out.
It's kind of crazy to think at one point Trick Daddy was the biggest rapper in the country.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Like
Sure.
bigger than 50 Cent, bigger than Ja Rule. Like he was the guy. Trick Daddy was number 1.
Because of what? Take It to the House?
It was prior to that. It was like,
I mean,
I
Take
mean,
It to the
and
House
from
made him a
then
household
on.
name.
what do you think that was like? Was Take It to the House the one? Do you think?
That might have been the one with the biggest budget.
I'm a
Mm.
Thug was huge. Yeah, Take It to the
That
House
was
was
before that.
big.
What's the one with CeeLo?
In the Wind.
What's Happened? Yeah, is that on there? That's probably on
It's
there.
not on here.
Mm.
Round 4.
I'm
what we
actually,
got?
yeah. So round 3, we
Okay.
got Project Pat, Chicken Head,
Mm.
versus Sugar, Give Me Some, featuring CeeLo and Ludacris.
And that's
She's
produced
got
by
that
Jazzy Faye,
sugar,
right?
give me some. Yeah,
Yeah.
Project Pat.
Yeah. Yeah, go Project
Uh-huh.
Pat on that one.
Uh-huh.
yeah, easy,
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
I'm surprised
Uh,
that that's not his number 1. But
Right.
Yeah, I would think that this was Pat's number 1.
yeah.
Number 4, North Memphis versus Take
Mm.
It to the House.
Wow.
I mean,
Oh. Yeah, I hate that Trick Daddy is winning this.
yeah, right.
This is not what I expected.
It's kind of like we said, Trick Daddy was the biggest rapper in the country. So but Project Pat's the cooler guy. Like
I went to see Project Pat in Chicago like a few months ago. So
Oh yeah, Barber put on that show, right?
Yeah.
And then he did the T-shirts, and now Pat's wearing that all the time. I love that.
I wear mine all the time too.
Hell yeah!
I was mad as hell because we stood in line for the shirts, and literally like I walked in the House of Vans and walked right to the merch line. Stood in line for like 15 minutes, saw Andrew Barber, saw everyone, and as soon as I got to the front, they were like, "We only got smalls left," and I was like, "The fuck!" And I just started like yelling at Andrew Barber, like,
you better make one.
And I was putting that shit on Twitter. I'm sorry, X and Instagram, and saying just like, "Yeah, you got to repress those shirts, man." And then he did, so I got one, and I'm happy now.
Shout out Barber.
What is Pat's demographic now in the year of our Lord 2023?
I would imagine it's about the same because I just feel like a lot of races fuck with 3-6 Mafia and then also fuck with Project Pat based on that, just that that whole family of like Memphis folks, you know.
Yeah.
And then also because of people like in my opinion, like people like Wiz Khalifa and people like bringing back like
Drake,
just that style of
Cardi.
music and using it like even when they weren't like super cool anymore. And now, I mean, the last like I would say 5-6 years, it's inescapable hearing, those ad libs, those Project Pat, Gangsta Boo, rest in peace, CJ, like all those ad libs and just the sentiment and the stylings of, that classic Memphis rap music.
Yeah.
So the demographic, I think, is still just super diverse. I mean, you're always gonna have like, the hood classic, fan, but it's everybody.
It's such a crossover.
They definitely have
Drake kind of put that on a bit of a pedestal with Knife Talk and stuff.
Yeah,
I think that's probably like the most commercial version of
Trav,
like the reuse. But like I was gonna say Rocky, but Trav also.
Well, yeah. I mean,
with one comes the other.
Well, yeah, which one?
It's interesting because Pat should have always been a household name in my mind. I think if you were talking Juicy J ever in the conversation, it should have been Project Pat and Juicy J.
I think Jay just went very commercial at one point with all the Kanye
it's Wiz
stuff.
Khalifa. It's Wiz Khalifa. And, what was it? Lex Luger.
Yeah. During that era, like what years were those? Like 2015, 16 or something like that.
I think that
was Jay was Juicy J was just doing.
Yeah, I feel like it was way before that.
12 even
11 10.
Damn, you're right. It was way back then because this was like
this
is like good music stuff. Like he was really doing pop music for a second, which is dope. Like the fact that anybody from like Hypnotized Minds was doing.
Well, I mean, they won an Oscar.
Popular music. Well, yeah. But it's just
that opens up the door. That opens up the budget.
That opens up the budget, especially because they're indie. Those guys are loaded.
But even before that, Stay Fly was on MTV every 5 minutes. That video, that iconic video, they were just slamming it down people's TVs like, yo, this is that shit. They weren't wrong, obviously.
Yeah. Right.
But then it just like kind of catapulted.
It's just kind of cool to see where they were prior to that.
Yeah.
Like obviously still monumental, like everybody, like, but they were underground. Like you still kind of had to be in the know. You had to watch Rap City to see Sipping on Scissor and all that stuff, like
BET Uncut,
Chicken Head, BET Uncut. Yeah, like you kind of had to like search for them, and like getting like I don't know, Little White albums and shit like that. Like that's still like.
Oh my god, I went through such a Little White phase.
Such a dog. I was right there with you, and my Honda Civic was beat.
I met Lil White. I don't even remember when, but I met him and I fanned out. And I remember I was with just a friend, and they were like, You really just fanned out over Lil White. I'm like, you don't understand, man. I never did none of those drugs he talked about, but I was right there with him.
Good
man.
ass time, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but the music's great.
This is great.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, wait, you're not really doing those drugs, are you? That's a bit much. Like, you're like,
lot.
right?
Last round, Project Pat. It's actually a feature. It's from the Isaiah Rashad album. It's R.I.P. Young featuring Project Pat and Juicy J. I guess that's the remix.
Okay.
Versus Trick Daddy Nan Nigga.
I gotta go Nan.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
Because you know why, too? Shout out to Trina.
Shout out Trina.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Baddest
Like,
bitch.
she was talking about licking a clit, and I was so
Right.
young. I was like, wait a minute.
It is kind of, when you think about that, that's kind of early before eating cunnilingus was cool. This is the era when nobody's like, I ain't going down. Like, that's just in rap music.
Oh, right.
Nah, I don't go down.
Yeah.
Lil
That's
Wayne
like-
made it the other way around.
Yeah.
She was on some
yeah.
like fake bi shit. I was like, okay.
Mhm.
As a-
Look,
as a
yeah.
person, like, she did say that. She said that,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah,
But
she
yeah, that
wasn't
song-
she was a participant.
Mhm.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
Baddest.
I can see it. The baddest
Trina's
bitch.
baddest, you know.
That is.
I feel like Trina though, you know, she probably like fake gay, like touch a titty in the club. Fake.
Giggle about it.
Let a stripper
She,
eat her
she,
out.
she gives her friend a peck and is like,
Yeah.
oh.
The camera just pans
About,
to
like-
Psalm in the corner, like, nah, nah. It's that Jonah Hill gif. Yeah, yeah. This is bullshit.
Bullshit. It's
But
cap.
Nam was different because I just remember like we were just so elite, like real hip hop and like you know the East Coast stuff, the
Mhm.
Midwest stuff that was just like pioneering, and then didn't like my friends and I just didn't listen to a ton of Southern rap. But when Nan came out, it was undeniable.
Right. It was
Southern
different
rap.
because it was like it was Southern rap, but it was Miami's just a different.
That beat, that
Yeah.
Why is Florida so different than the rest of the South?
It's just
the own
different.
Where
planet.
it's like almost East Coast. It sometimes feels
an island,
Midwest.
bro.
It's clearly Southern. It's
It's an island that just
own
happens to
thing.
be connected to the United States.
It's Mickey.
Yeah.
Yes, it's its own thing, man. It's weird
Yeah.
Nan
Martin's
is-
an anomaly.
because it's like at that time I'm thinking like late 90s, right? Like 98, 99.
Mhm.
So like it's still Jiggy era.
Mhm.
The South for the most part is still kind of like country-ish with the exception of like the
Yeah,
pimp
Outkast
shit
is-
and
You had
Outkast
your
was like kind of an
LaFace- You had your LaFace records that was
yeah, so it's
big.
like either really like glossy or it's like really southern or it's like pimpy and kind of both like Outkast. But Nan was like ghetto, but it still had like a hard ass
Had a-
beat.
bounce. It had that Miami feel because it kind of had that Two Live Crew
It's like kind of
feel
bassy.
to it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then just the woman.
Yeah,
Being-
and
And
then
then there's Trina
Yeah.
Yeah.
barring.
Yeah, yeah.
Going crazy.
It's a fucking classic. man.
Cool ass song. I love Nan. and
Yeah, hell yeah. No, that's dope. What songs?
then
did we
Trick
think-
talked about putting a gun in her mouth, like some wild,
right,
crazy,
Those
violent
lyrics,
shit.
yeah,
You really like go through those lyrics. You're like, what the fuck was y'all?
This is
on?
wild. Like,
Jesus Christ.
like this is incriminating.
but I love how Nan. I love how
Yeah.
Nan came out at the same time. What was that? JT Money and Soleil.
Oh yeah.
Who
How-
that?
let- JT Money.
What's it called?
Who that?
Yeah.
Who that?
Yeah.
Yeah, who that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of
Put
similar.
put those songs head to head.
Yeah, shit.
Hey.
Shout out JT Money.
Drama, left, right.
Drama left, right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
He's crazy story about Drama. I don't know if you guys have kept up with him, but give that a Google because that's crazy.
Oh, no.
Wait a minute,
Type
Oof.
that in. Type that into your X.
Wait,
and
as
look
of
it up.
recent?
X.
Yeah, he's like a domestic terrorist.
Oh no.
What?
Yeah, we don't gotta get crazy into it, but that's wild.
That's a deep dive.
That's a deep dive. We have Samoan on the show.
Already deep diving. He
Yeah.
said details surface as to why rapper drama threatened the life of Real Housewife of Atlanta's fate. Like, okay, shade room stuff. Okay, I'll look at
Yeah, but he like it got crazy. Like, I guess there was like a bomb threat and some other shit.
Oh
Like,
my goodness.
it was crazy.
You know, it should be mentioned too, going back to what we were talking about with that character arc, that Tyler did the exact same thing as Juicy J, as 3-6. You know, started off really horrorcore and then kind of stabilized it into pop music. And I think that's definitely a difficult route to break on.
The money looked different.
The money's
big
different up
time,
there.
Big time. But brought drama along, which is fucking dope because got him a Grammy as well, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a Grammy Award winning album.
Yeah, I believe so.
I think so.
Drama's album? Drama's album?
No, Tyler's.
No. Call me if you get lost.
Tyler's.
Oh yes.
Drama's.
Okay, I was like,
Produced.
No. Psalm, this is the lightning round. We're going to get right into it. One of these artists stays and the other is deleted out of your memory forever. You go to pull that record off the shelf, it's just a cloud of dust. Nothing else.
Can't even rap it
Can't
anymore.
even talk about it. Can't rap about it. It's not even in the car.
You're canceling people.
Yeah. You open
Worse,
up
we're
that-
erasing
you
them
open
from
up that
history.
CD book and you just.
Yeah. The CD book. Yeah.
Right.
Starting with De La Soul or Naughty by Nature.
Naughty.
Okay. Chameleonaire or Lil Flip.
Little Flip gotta go. Sorry.
Okay. Sean Paul or Beanie Man.
I hate this, but Sean Paul gotta go.
Okay. White Stripes or UGK.
White Stripes, you're out of here, baby. Hate to say it. I mean, you know, White Stripes. Darn.
Ice Spice or Glorilla.
Both. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm gonna have to go. Ice Spice has to go because Glorilla, like when that Tomorrow 2 came out, I was actually in New York City the day that dropped, and I played that shit like over and over and over and over, and it really made my trip better. So Ice Spice, sorry.
Okay.
what does Glorilla say? The fuck?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Deep ass boys, bro.
She's from Memphis too. And she's little. She's like, yeah.
I saw Glorilla at Coachella and it was louder than a dubstep show. It was the loudest show I've ever been to. And I was like, we were up close because we got there early and I was like, we got to scoot back like maybe half a mile, a couple of football fields. Even the dancers were loud. Everyone's singing while dancing. I'm like, yo, this is so loud.
Who wants to
It's
sing
great.
those ratchet ass lyrics along with Glorilla? You know?
I thought someone was going to get punched. I was like, this is great. I love this. I was waiting for a mosh pit at the Glorilla show. Let's go.
That would go off for sure.
I heard there was a mosh pit at the Project Pat show. Is that,
That
true?
makes
Was.
sense, though. That
I was
makes
way in the
sense.
back. I got it, I'll be VIPing it when I
Yeah.
can.
Yeah,
I'm
as you should. As you should.
I'm like,
Looks
we're not doing
great.
that.
Y'all look like you're having a good time. Y'all have fun in there. Be safe.
Yeah, y'all be safe. Hypnotized Minds or Swisher House? Who you keeping?
Damn, what's this?
This is a past episode, actually.
Yeah.
Shout out to the lightning round.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go. I hate this, but I'm keeping Hypnotized Minds.
Mhm.
Okay. How about this? Who you keeping, Trina or Meg?
I mean, without Trina, there's no Meg.
There you
So
go.
Meg, you out of here.
Mhm.
Okay. Faith or Mary J?
Come on, I got it. Bye, Faith. Bye. Ain't no hateration in the dancers.
Hey, this is the first time somebody actually used that in a sentence, though.
About time.
Yeah, right?
We're 3 years into the show. About goddamn
I
time.
love that.
I'm an author, baby.
Yeah. Oh, we're
Let's
gonna talk
go.
about that too.
Yeah.
Beat Nuts or Alcoholics?
We got to keep Beat Nuts for sure.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeahs or No Doubt?
I'm keeping No Doubt.
Doors or Nirvana?
Keeping man.
Hmm.
I'm keeping the Doors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Paul Wall or Mike Jones?
I'm keeping Paul Wall.
Okay. Dream or Neo?
Bye, Neo.
Whoa.
That's easy. Sorry, that's easy.
Diddy or JD?
Which Jay? Oh, you mean Jermaine Dupri
Yeah.
or Diddy?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Sean Combs.
Oh, I gotta
JD?
keep. We gotta keep Sean. We gotta keep Sean.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that's a hard. But without Diddy, there is no making the band. Which, like, literally, I had that on DVD. It's so scratched up. It's one of my prized possessions.
Yes.
So we don't get making the band without Diddy. So we gotta keep. Diddy.
Yes.
Dilla or Pete Rock?
Oh, we're keeping Dilla.
Okay. Let's go with Jay-Z or Future.
I mean, how you do it? Oh,
yeah.
yeah. There you go. I'm
That's
not in the
different. This
Illuminati,
is
I'm
something
looking
else.
at
That's
My bad.
Yeah. Boss.
Lil Kim or Foxy Brown?
Damn. I gotta keep Foxy. Sorry. That was rough. That was rough on me. Rough on myself.
Meth or Red?
And they're like meth or crack. Like
Lil White's like,
keeping-
yes.
Because I love Redman, Method Man, it keeps me half straight. So we gotta keep Method Man.
Method Man is the lesbian's kryptonite.
Yes.
I am going. No disrespect.
I like
to
chicks,
his wife.
but Method Man.
There's a few, if you keeping me on the side.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Steely
great.
Dan or Gangstar?
I'm sorry, who are Gangstar?
Steely Dan or Gangstar? We're getting into the weird shit now.
I think
As
we're
soon
gonna
as
do-
Method Man gets brought up, we get into the
I-
weird shit.
I'm keeping Steely Dan.
Okay.
Classic.
Big L or Big Pun?
Keeping Big L. Rest in peace to Pun and Big L.
And Big L.
Mhm.
We're gonna keep Big L.
The Roots or NERD?
Oh, we're keeping the Roots.
Okay. Lizzo or Fergie?
Hi, Fergie.
Let's get into some tough ones here. Prince or Michael Jackson?
I'm keeping Prince. Sorry.
Okay. Pac or
Hold
Biggie?
on.
Oh,
Rate the two concerts.
Okay, so I saw Michael Jackson when I was a kid,
Mhm.
and it was amazing. It was like everything you see in like the videos is like he's got like soldiers and like,
Yeah.
Is this the
all that
bad
on
tour?
stage doing like crazy shit. I mean, it was an amazing show, and people were fainting. I remember
Mhm.
my cousin had a toothache and fell asleep off her meds, and I remember shaking her like, "How could you fall asleep during this?"
Michael's like, get up, bah! Got to get up, bah!
But Prince, here's the thing: Prince did a secret show.
Mhm.
I feel like it was like either 2013 or 2014 for George Lucas's wedding in Hyde
Okay.
Park, Chicago, and just was like, I'm going to do a secret show at City Winery. And a friend of mine at the time had like a subscription to City Winery, and we get these like email blasts. And this email just happened to come through, and he was like, "Y'all want to go see Prince later on? Tickets are $70." And I was like, before I could even answer, I was like, yes, like the
Mhm.
fuck? And show was supposed to start at 10 o'clock. We got in line at 9 o'clock. Prince did not start until 1 o'clock. And we were at the front of the line. And when we walked in, he was already playing. Like the concert had already started. They were already mid-song when they were letting people in. he had like a 14-piece horn section. He did a lot of James Brown covers.
Mm.
And I'm still say Prince, man. The concert was, I think it was because I was old enough to really truly appreciate it.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it made it way more special. And it, man, he was just so fucking funky, man. Like it's just like unreal how he plays every instrument, and unreal how he did that show where it's like you're so inspired and you're so fucking skilled and talented that you just like, yeah, let's just do this one. And to have like a horn section, I've never seen a horn section like that big before, and that was like the majority of the band was like horns. And it was just, it was a very unique, very intimate show. And yeah, one of the best shows I've ever seen for sure. So gotta say Prince.
There's something so cool about a band with a huge horn section.
Yeah.
Like if you see like a Tower type band, like, and they just fucking,
Mhm.
it hits, it's loud, it's
Or like that band at Broad Acres. Whew, boy.
Banda. Shout out to the Banda.
Yeah,
The
let's
Banda.
go, man.
Yeah.
There's something violent about a horn section. It's like
Yes.
punch you in the face, loud and strong. It's a hard feeling to describe.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
it's got to be wild being in that Prince position and being like, I have so much music. What do I do? You know,
James Brown
do I
cover.
go? Yeah, James Brown
Somebody
cover.
else's.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay.
Yeah, you know, he could have played hours and hours. He could have done a whole tour of just songs that no one's ever heard before and packed it out every night, you know,
Yep.
and had that attention to people. There's so much sitting in the vaults. There's so many outtakes we haven't heard. There's so much stuff that's being pushed out there that I don't know if he wants people to hear.
No,
No.
he doesn't.
Damn, that last
yeah.
album,
Like, that's
man,
an
was
easy answer.
horrendous, bro. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, you know.
Damn it.
But
Pissed me off.
but that's a legacy act that is all encompassing, and
Yeah.
it's crazy just to say that you saw Prince live, because he could have done 50,000 nights of that, and every night could have been completely different and equally as amazing, where people are like, oh, it's the best concert I've ever seen before.
Yeah.
But
It was wild too, because I didn't tell my mom I went until like weeks later. Because I knew she was gonna be mad. Because I didn't buy the tickets. My friend bought the tickets.
Oh, okay.
You know
Right,
what I mean? And I was just lucky to get one. So yeah, it was. My mom was like, "Wait, you saw Prince?" Like she was mad at me for like a little while, you know.
I love the
Rightfully
same
so.
experience. I'd
I
be
love
pissed
the
too.
idea of the door guy being like, "Oh, he's on. Open the door. Open the door." And he's already started playing like, because
Fuck,
Prince,
fuck,
you know,
evil.
yeah, Prince gave him specific instructions like, "I don't give a fuck. Don't open that door until I hit the first note." And the guy's like, "Ah, come on in, come on." Like, when you're working for Prince, man, I can only imagine.
Prince he like comes in for sound check and he's like, yeah, let's just start actually. Shit.
Go for Prince. Go for Prince. Last but not least, every week we do this matchup, and I'm curious to see which way you go on this. Outkast or Hall & Oates?
Man, I gotta go Outkast. Unfortunately, Hall & Oates is just like so influential. Like so much has come from just not that band, individually and together. But Outkast shaped my rap life in a way that, like, it's just even before I really started rapping, I had Outkast instrumentals pretending to rap. Like, lot of good memories with Outkast, so I got to keep them.
Well, you survived the lightning round. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And congratulations on your 1-year book anniversary
Yes.
of Her Word is Bond. Tell us about that.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I think my love of music journalism really prompted me to write this book. But as I started writing about the music that inspired me as a high school and a middle school student, once I got to college and I was actually rapping myself, it started to become part memoir. And I was like, well, shit, my life's kind of juicy when I started rapping. Like, maybe I should tell some of these stories. And then as I got, you know, just more writing about through my life, I was like, wow, this is kind of like a cautionary tale slash
Mm.
sort of like almost like a self-help book to aspiring artists, to women, to queer artists who, you know, may not know that they have a place in hip hop. So the more I wrote about my own life in parallel with the music that inspired me and the music I was making, the more I realized that it was probably important to tell my story in a way that was not exactly all the way positive, you know, as far as like making me come out to look like a champ. And I think that that's the difference in a lot of well, some of the memoirs that are written by music journalists, they're not necessarily, they weren't rappers, so their perspective isn't one of someone who's been in the back of these vans, who've performed for 10 people, performed for 20,000 people, and everything in between. And just that indie rap life that not a lot of people really have written about as of yet. Even though Jay Zone's book, Root for the Villain, was a huge inspiration for me because Jay Zone was one of my favorite artists in the late 90s, early 2000s. And he just like quit in grand fashion, was like, fuck rap and fuck rap. Like, even now, like, if you follow him on social media, he's always saying fuck rap. And he's a funk drummer now, which obviously has, you know, a lot to do with hip hop and his hip hop upbringing or whatever. But you can just see how the love of music really just shaped, you know, these stories. And for me, it was very important for me to tell my story in a way that was balanced, that you know, didn't necessarily make me look great all the time, and highlighted some of the mistakes that I made that, you know, like Hove did that, so hopefully you won't have to go through that, you know what I mean? So and also just being a woman in hip hop and talking about some of the, you know, the stuff that we absolutely deal with as far as like patriarchy and all that type of shit that you may not see when you're immersed in it as a kid, but as you get older and, you know, you start to have these different types of relationships, you're like, wow, that was kind of fucked up, you know what I mean? So
Right.
I think as rap gets older, as hip hop gets older, and we get older through it, it's nice to kind of share those lessons and, you know, really let folks know it's not always, you know, a great time, but music is the greatest thing that humans ever did. So, you know, these are some of the things we have to go through to be musicians.
Yeah. I'm really glad you touched on that aspect of playing for small crowds and the reality of being independent, because we're in an era now where everyone is just highlight reel. Everything's a Super Bowl. Look at this picture of me playing for 90,000 people.
Look at this
And that's
reel.
not the truth.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
honestly not the
festival
truth.
and they're not all there to see you, sir. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Yeah, you know, and I feel like that facade, there's a lot more appreciation in the honesty. And I
Yeah.
spoke with Neek and Travis about this before. My best photos on Instagram are the ones where you're being transparent, where you're being yourself and being like, today sucked. I wasn't my best today. Or, you know, the grind is fucking tough, you know? And I feel like we've fallen into some sort of social media arc where it's just highlights only, wins only,
Yeah.
where others hold themselves to that standard and being like, oh, shit, I can only post my wins. I can only post myself smiling. I can't post myself losing. I can't post myself having a bad day. And that's fucked up, especially in the music scene, because that's not real life,
Yeah.
you know?
It's definitely not balanced.
And especially as an independent, when you're doing this shit on your own, there's a lot more on the line. And a lot more of the costs are absolved by the artist. A lot more of the impact of losing on one night is absolved by the artist. You know, you got to get there from point A to point B. You need to show the people a good time because they spent money on the ticket. You
Yeah.
need to have the faith of the promoter and being like, hey, man, I'm sorry I told you I was going to pack this out, or we expected this much, or this went wrong, or whatever. You've experienced those moments on the road. And I kind of want to talk about the genesis of your career and how that led to you kind of coming into your own vibe and being like, I can appreciate these wins and I can appreciate these losses. Tell us a bit, because I know a lot of people listening are from the DJ community. Tell us a bit of the impact of being an independent touring hip hop artist.
Oh man, I mean, for me, I had been touring since before GPS. We were using MapQuest and actual maps, like that is I've been touring. I leaving Chicago to go rap in other places for over 20 years now, and it's and I've gone all over. Like, I've been all over the United States, Canada, been to Haiti, and been all over Europe quite a few times. And it is a fucking grind. And as I started to see early interest in my show and my stage presence, and was one of my first shows outside of Chicago was in Minneapolis, and opening for Idea, rest in peace. And that was, I think it was just, me being around legends like Pugsley Adams, who is a Chicago legend, who basically picked me out of a lot of rappers. He would come down to U of I, down at my University of Illinois, and kind of like check out who's rapping down there. And I was one of the people that caught his eye early. And I got absorbed into Necrobats, which is a legendary Chicago crew. Open Mike Eagle came out of that crew, and a lot of great artists. And I do believe that being around legends and people who are really, really good at performing early prompted me to like just be good on stage, and that got me a lot of opportunities. And I was a lot of people's first woman that they ever saw rap on stage. That's like, I've gotten that, like, now that I'm like way older in it, I've had a lot of people come up to me like, oh, you were the first woman I ever saw rap. And that's power. That's a powerful thing for a lot of people. You know what I mean? So having that, and then signing to Rhymesayers, part of the reason I signed to them was because of their track record for touring. And the fact that those years before I signed, it was between them and Hieroglyphics. They were like the biggest independent labels in the world. And I had both of them in my ear. So my ego is huge, obviously.
Right.
And the thing about it is, you play for like someone who's playing for like 2,000-3,000 kids a night. And then you go to your own show and it's like maybe 200. Like that, I learned that quick, that like, these are not your fans. And anytime you perform for, or you support another bigger artist, you try to come away with as many fans as possible.
Right.
I'm just gonna say this as a Black woman. A lot of Rhymesayers fans don't give a fuck what a Black woman gotta say. Sorry about that, but like, for me, it was a fight. It was an uphill battle quite a bit. But I did I earned my stripes. Like, it's almost like a performing and rap performance boot camp. Would never think of rapping over my vocals. Would never think of skimping on a show because there's 10 people in the audience versus 1,000. Right. Just really learned how to tour, how to command a stage. So like, I learned a lot of lessons from that. And early in my career, because of the prestige that came with that signing, a lot of my early shows were packed, were sold out. You know what I mean? Big rooms in Chicago, big rooms in Europe, that today, if I probably tried to play there, probably wouldn't be, as packed. But I also know my audience too, and I'm not clinging to some other entity to bring me, that interest. And also understanding that my fans are as old as me, and some are older. And as we get older, maintaining fans in this like pandemic social media age, it's just so much different. Like I know you all have seen these debates about like Lil Baby canceling shows, and like all these like super big artists having to cancel shows because they think, because of the interest online or the virality that they have online equates to ticket sales. And someone made a good point, said, you have listeners, people who will listen to your album, people who will listen to your music when it drops. But when you drop that fucking ticket link, who's clicking that? Significantly less people.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've been fortunate enough to be able to tour with some of the biggest indie names like ever. And, you know, I've performed with 50 Cent, performed with Odd Future, performed with Hyro plenty of times. I just performed with Souls of Mischief not too long ago, and that was a beautiful show because I literally got a chance to say, who in this crowd is 40 plus? And most of the crowd erupted. I was like, oh shit, everybody had a nap today. Like, come on, man. Like, it's nice to see hip hop get older. But because of that, and because of social media, I think you have to really understand who your audience is. Like if for me, even at the beginning of my career, if like 20, 30 people showed up to see like Psalm 1, I'm happy about that because I'm like, these are people who are absolutely engaged and absolutely listening. And like, I'm the type of artist that if I go and I do a small show, I'll still probably guap out at the end of it because those people are engaged and they want my merch and they'll buy it. So like for me, understanding the beauty of having that merch at the end of the show, it always that was always the gauge for me. Not how many people showed up, how many people showed up at that merch table at the end. And you know, for me, like I performed for 30,000 people and sold like 2 pieces of merch, but I've also performed for like 30 people and sold 40 pieces of merch, you know. So for me, that perspective, the numbers, it's a different number that I'm looking at as far as like success. And then with Bandcamp, with me, I think I'm one of, in my realm, in my social circle, like Bandcamp was like, I was doing that before anybody around me was doing it because everybody was still trying to fight to get on iTunes.
Right.
And I was just like, that was during the time where I was having issues with my first issues with Rhymesayers. And I was like, shit, I'm going to use Bandcamp because I don't even know what's going on with iTunes. And I don't even know how to get them to listen to me about anything, much less digital sales and things like that. So for me, putting out music on Bandcamp allowed me to tour more, allowed me to reach fans that I didn't even know I had. So I don't know if I answer your question, but
no, yeah. And you brought up another topic too. Sometimes these margins on the road are paper thin, where you're barely scraping by to make the buck on the night. You know, with traveling, with grabbing a meal, with grabbing a hotel. Fact of the matter is as an independent, a lot of times they're not picking up these costs. You know, they're like, we got you a space to play, maybe a couple $100. You know, maybe there'll be some food or drinks in the green room, but after
you might
that,
get a hotel room
on your own. You know,
but that's where merch game comes in play. Heavy.
It's gotta be. It's
heavy.
Gotta be. You know, like a lot of this is fueled by the merch, and it's making. I don't want to speak a blanket statement, and I'd love to hear your opinion on this, Psalm. It's making a lot of this much tougher for artists to tour. Not grand scheme, it like grassroots movement tours. The money's not there. It doesn't make sense to leave your house when you can broadcast more from being at home.
Inflation, I hate to use that word, but I believe we're all of a certain age here where like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we didn't feel it as adults as much as far as like what the dollar was worth and everything. Now, when you're talking about COVID, which completely like just put everything on pause for years, and now you have millions of musicians trying to figure out what to do next. And then once they start opening venues again, now who's going to get those venues now? Not the necessarily the indie person who's like directly emailing the venue. All these venues are about to get booked with people who have booking agents. So there's already going to be sort of a hierarchy of interest from talent buyers, but then also gas prices will eat your entire budget. I went on a book tour last year and that was like a gauge for me to see if I wanted to go on another rap tour.
Mhm.
Literally after the book tour, I was like, we could wait on the rap tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gas prices are
Because-
crazy. So
Yeah.
And for me, it takes a lot, like, because I'm in my 40s, it takes more to get me out of the house to rap on a stage outside of my city.
Mhm.
But I'll do it depending on what it is. And like I'm very blessed to have a book where I can like really say, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to come speak to your students? Do you want me to come read my book? Do you want me to come rap? Like there are like at least 5 different Psalm 1 packages that you can get, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm very fortunate to be able to even like navigate as an older rapper that, and still, you know, get paid well for certain shows. But particularly like for an independent Psalm 1 tour, those numbers are crazy. Like, because a long drive will eat up your like
Yeah.
it'll your whole budget, like if you're talking about gas. And then now you say, okay, maybe I'll fly, but you know, prices
That's
for
just
flights
as
Yeah.
expensive.
too. So
And then you
it's,
got to get an Uber.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
you know?
because if you fly, you don't have the whip.
Yeah.
Go.
It's just,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot to consider, you know. And I think that a lot of these new artists, they don't think about any of that. I've seen a lot of indie artists be like, I'm going on tour, and then like 2 weeks later, they're like, I'm not going on tour.
Back.
It's just like you must have crunched those
Yeah,
numbers.
we
huh?
forgot the
Yeah,
budget.
Yeah.
just kidding. I will be doing a Twitch performance.
Yeah. I'm
Which
right
tour?
here.
Yeah,
Touring
yeah.
at home. Also, too, you're punching up against Live Nation, you know, and you're punching up
Exactly.
against a lot of these big corporations that have first say on music, like you
And that
mentioned.
are also punching up numbers.
Yeah, you know, and battling.
What is a stream? What is a stream?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, you know,
Oh,
like
no. Ooh.
there's so many of those things pitted against the artist that
Mhm.
makes it almost insurmountable to overcome, where you're like, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if I want to go on the road. I don't know if I want to leave my house. I don't know if I want to release on Spotify and this and that. Which brings me to the next part. Return of Big Perm out on
Yeah.
Bandcamp. Yeah. Tell us about that as well.
So my last album, Big Perm, was out last September, and it did very well by my standards. I had a couple of benchmarks I wanted to hit, and I hit them. So for me, it was just a really cool project. It was my first project I dropped with one producer,
Mm.
a Chicagoan who was doing graphic design for me in like 2020, and then he was just like, I make beats too, and I was like, oh what? And he like sent me beats. I was like, these are fucking dope, like what's going on? And he was just really, really easy to work with, and I was still living in Minneapolis at the time, and he would just send me beats and then send me stems and then give me graphic design, and he was just really eager to work. And for me at this point in my career, I just like to work with people who are eager to work with me. I don't ever want to feel like anyone's doing me a favor. I don't want to ever feel that anyone's not excited about the stuff that we're doing. And the producers, like I have a couple of albums in the tuck, which is really cool for me to say because I never had that before. But I have a dedicated group of really talented musicians who really fuck with me like the long way. And being like sort of post rhyme sayers, it's really important to me to know that people are working with me based on song, not based on this other entity, because I've definitely had people work with me and then be like, so you gonna send my stuff to such and such? No, I can barely send my shit to such and such. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? Like, like my clout has limitations, my friend, you know? But the return of Big Perm it wasn't extra songs. It's not like one of those like afterthoughts. Custom just kept sending me beats, and I was just like,
you just couldn't help it.
And I still had some sentiments from the last album, which was really about the whole thing about me straightening myself out, like perm is being like a straightener for like my soul and shit. So I still had a lot to say, and those beats were really dope. And I realized that I didn't have that many features on my last album. I had one from Minnesota, really amazing artist out of Minneapolis, who's living in Houston now. That was like the only feature on the whole album. So with the return, I actually had returned to Chicago. So I have 3 other Chicago artists on this one, and it feels like a an extension of Big Perm, but it also feels like kind of like a new thing because it has like a lot of features in a little bit of time. And it still like carries a lot of the themes from the last album. So it's out on all streamers now, but you can buy it at Bandcamp.
Hell yeah. Sounds like a sequel. Sounds like a perfect sequel. And speaking of sequels, though, have you felt an effect of the Hollywood strike? And when I say that, I'm talking about how the writers and actors are striking really against AI and streaming and how to get paid properly. I know that, Hollywood and music go hand in hand. Have you felt a trickle down effect of what's happening with Hollywood right now in music?
A little bit. As a consumer of entertainment, some of the shows that I wanted to come back ain't coming back. I have a few friends who are on both sides of the things, and I have actor friends that are just like they fucking fed up. I have one friend in particular that works for a studio, and I'm interested in talking with him about it because he's a cool person and is always supported artists and musicians. So it'd be interesting to talk with him about how he feels as like a studio exec who doesn't call the shots, but because he's with the studios, he's kind of like gotta just be, but as far as being a writer, I've written a script or two, and it's just like, well, that's not gonna see the light of day anytime soon. And as a musician, I feel like, man, I wish music could do this. But that would mean musicians have to unionize, and so
that's almost comical.
Yeah.
So it's like we get Beyonce and Drake and Travis Scott and Ye and all these people to be like, stop the money. Like, they're not doing that. No. They're not gonna do that. So
it's funny. The DJ communities. I was saying the DJ community is exactly in the same place.
Yeah.
It's like we need to unionize. It's like, yeah, fucking right.
LOL. Yeah. It's all of these big ideas, and no one wants to do the work as far as the smaller, like the DJ community goes. Like, I don't even know what that would look like, where people are like, oh, DJs deserve healthcare. It's like, all right, well, DJs aren't working anymore. Like, that's it. Like, go find a fucking venue that's going to be like, I got you. Oh, you want to take more money out of our pocket? No problem. I'm glad we all agree. Yeah. Which brings me to another point that I want to talk about, and then we're going to kind of get into some of the housekeeping questions before we roll out. But there's no song of the summer. Is that safe to say?
Taliban's.
I want to disagree.
There's a song of the summer.
I think it's the Peggy Goo song.
Okay, so a house song, a rap song, Psalm. What's the song of the summer?
What is it? Oh my God.
That's the real answer.
I don't know, because I know what I've played. I know what I've been playing this summer, but that's not necessarily blaring out of things. I'm gonna say Gunna, Fuck You Mean.
Fuck You Mean.
That's that I would say as far as a rap song, which is amazing because it's like, I don't listen to no snitch. It's like, well, somebody listening.
Somebody is.
As soon as the record label saw the numbers that was putting up, they're like, hey, why don't we put some money towards this, even though we still have Thug coming out? Do this. That song is fire.
Oh
It's
yeah, one
absolutely
more.
fire.
Sorry, Lotto, the fucking rip me out the plastic.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fire too.
I also wonder. I was talking to Andy Uwap, shout out last night about.
Wait a minute, hold on. Sexy Red, Pound Town. Does that
Pound
get an honorable
Town?
mention? No.
Honorable mention for virality and TikTok.
Okay, fair. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what I was gonna say. Wrap me out the plastic and Pound Town. Like, are these songs of the moment? Do these songs have legs? Are they lasting the summer? Is it just for the month? Because these songs don't have legs because they're fucking
Well, we're
TikTok
talking
songs.
about the summer, so we're talking about just 3 months here, though.
Yeah, just the
Oh,
summer. Is it? I don't
well,
know.
Yeah, this is a short shelf life here.
There's a short shelf life, and that's what I was gonna say
Yeah.
about the song of the summer discussion. Usually it's in regards to hip hop and R&B, top 40. That these days those genres are kind of they don't have legs because they're all viral like
TikTok.
internet songs.
And it's like one little part too. That's the crazy
Yeah.
part. Like when we all be like, "Oh yeah, this is my part." You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Yeah, it's the best
"Shut
part
up,
of the
that's my
song.
part." But now it's like, "Oh, this is my
And
part."
this
and I'm about to
15 seconds
literally
is
say a
everybody's part.
million. Like
Yeah.
they don't even know the other parts of the song. They like the
Yeah.
what's his name?
Steve Lacy.
Yeah, Steve Lacy. They're all coming for one part of the song.
Oh,
He got
yeah.
mad. He called him out
Yeah.
at his own concert.
It's like the same with Pound Town too, though.
Yeah.
Just
But it
just that
even
beginning part.
happens in it happens in dance music where it's like even dance songs that like go viral on TikTok.
Yeah.
It's like it ruins it. There's
Yeah.
what's the oh god, there's a song that I just heard last night that I was like, and I said it out loud like to the person next to me. I was like, the internet ruins everything because this
I don't
song
know.
rips.
EDM producers are trying to ruin Amapiano for me. It's pissing me off.
Amo Piano is already like
They're
being dragged because all the remixes and stuff like
making me
that.
mad.
It was hot for a second. I remember
making me
everybody's
mad.
like, it's the next thing. And now it's like, okay, we've had enough of the Cool Runnings version of everything.
Oh, not cool. Ready? That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Now I don't even want to play it anymore.
Oh my god!
You gonna put it out like that? John Candy and them. Come on, man.
Oh my god! Let's pass it to Neek.
So what we like to do around these parts is set our friends up with fast food endorsement meals. So I would like to know, what is the Psalm 1 meal? Where is it? And what is it? What is your go-to fast food, John?
I was gonna make a homophobic Chick-fil-A joke, but we're not giving them
Oh, no, we here for that.
Open them on Sunday.
we're gonna go Chick-fil-A and it's chick like chicks like women.
Yeah.
And
Keep going.
a vagina shaped chicken.
Yeah. A chicken sandwich with 2 patties.
Yeah, 2 same-sex patties.
Yeah.
Special sauce. No,
We're gonna call.
I might have to go like classic. We're gonna go, and I haven't even eaten here in a long time. So, but I'm doing a Wendy's.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm
yes.
doing a 6 for $6.
Okay.
We're gonna do a double stack. We're gonna do a junior bacon cheeseburger, a large fry, 6-piece nugget, a Frosty, and then one of those like weird ass diabetes lemonades.
Oh, this is a
It's gonna be a
couple's
lot
meal.
for a little bit of money, and absolutely like you can like more than one person can eat from it, and that would be for the aspiring indie rappers who have zero money on the road
Boom.
as the
Hell
gas
yeah.
prices, so they'll be able to eat something.
You know,
like-
someone from Twitter is gonna be like, "Is this a date?" And and be like, "Man, get out! Everything could be a date."
This ain't
I
this
don't
ain't
know.
a date. This is a survival tactic, dog.
Like, seems
This is
little
a means
broke
of
for me.
survival.
Yeah, you're like, seems a little broke. You're like, it's a value meal. Of course, it's a date
It's
on
called
a budget.
Yeah.
Fucking yeah, because that Cardi B and Offset meal sucked. It was just like
Sucked.
you
It
can get a
sucked.
big burger and then a little burger and some fries.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, your ass is not eating no fucking cheeseburger and a couple fries, Cardi.
Lying.
At least
You're
put the
lying.
microphone.
Ass.
Put the microphone in the bag. At
Yeah.
least, come on.
She is
That
southpaw
mic-
too.
Yo, that microphone like
the drive-through opens and then throw a
She
microphone at
dumped
you.
the mic.
Here's your meal.
And it's just Cardi standing behind the window like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah.
I'll sit behind her like I'm
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
Falcon punching ass.
Throw the Sprite in your
They
face.
throw the ice at you. They
Yeah,
throw
DJ
ice water
said
at you, and then they hit you with the mic.
Get out of here.
This meal ruined my day.
Somebody actually put like they did a thread of like all the times Cardi has been seen on camera throwing shit. They were like, man, she need to get a baseball contract. Like,
There's a view from right behind the girl who threw the water or whatever. the
Yeah.
drink. And somebody's like, she has crazy aim, but if you watch it, she actually misses the girl that threw the drink and hits the girl next to her.
oh,
Because the girl
hell.
kind of moves.
Oh.
She hits an innocent bystander. And
It's
I'm
going
like,
in a straight line.
that shit, whoa, man, that girl said, ow.
I saw the post here. It's
Yes.
and she smokes this.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm
I
so
didn't see
sorry.
that. I didn't see that.
She goes, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Like, what are you
Oh.
sorry about? You know, you meant to throw
You
water
got
on
caught.
that girl.
Yeah.
Damn, she
Yeah.
said, I'm
Awesome.
sorry. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That
I'm
is
so
nuts.
sorry. But from where I saw,
I'm so sorry.
Man.
I'm
sorry.
so
I thought you
sorry.
wanted it. I thought this is what you wanted.
Man.
She's like, I'm sorry. She saw that big motherfucker coming over the fence.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. Please do not.
Speaking of Cardi B, because Cardi B is in the Fast franchise,
Segway Kings,
and
Trav.
because we are talking about franchises here,
Sure.
we are developing our DJ biopic cinematic universe. But
Nice.
what we're doing here is a little bit different. Okay,
Okay.
you get to pick one rapper to play you in a movie. Who is it?
A rapper to act as me in a
Nope,
movie.
just a rapper. Just a rapper. It could be Gorilla. Right?
A resounding. Mm-mm.
Uh-uh.
Try again.
Damn. This is dumb as hell. I want Trina to play me.
Let's go.
I like
Yes.
Finally have some ass, you know?
Yes.
Do
it.
Hell yeah.
I
So y'all
love
see
that.
her? Y'all see her like at the
Like, that's
premiere?
me, that's
Look at me. Look at me. All that ass.
Baddest.
Look at me up there.
Yo,
Look
I
at
love that.
I like the idea of Trina being someone like verbally, but like aesthetically still Trina in the movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Going down the whole same path, but
Yeah.
No,
as
that's how I
Trina.
feel inside. Trina,
Yes,
that's
we want the
outside
inner
for-
someone to be the
Yeah. 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 Trina doing book signings.
Trina signed to
and-
Rhyme
and-
Sayers
yeah,
doing
yeah.
book signing.
Yeah, I love that. I love
That'd be
that.
good.
Super indie
Once-
hip hop Trina is a vibe.
Once
Yeah.
Hollywood figures it out, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. That's why we're doing it for them. right now.
Honestly, this it's probably better Hollywood doesn't figure it out because now we can be the writers.
We'll take it from here.
There's jobs open.
But we got
We'll
this.
take it from here.
Straight to Tubi.
Yeah.
Where's Trina's where's
Straight to
Trina's
Tubi.
booking agent? We
I
got a
didn't
movie
hear that. It's
opportunity.
like, and playing someone. Trina. See that?
I'm here for that. That's fucking great.
Yes.
Psalm, before we roll out, tell us your most ridiculous, most wildest story on the road. Something
Ooh.
that people need to hear from you where you're like, you're never going to believe this.
Mm-hmm.
I know you got many.
Statute of limitations.
Mm.
You don't have to be specific in
Wait,
names. if it-
Angel just walked in. What's the story, Angel?
I don't know. But I'm waiting to see what it is.
Oh, okay. Here's one that really had me. This was early on, and it really reminded me, like, oh, like that's how the men rappers treat each other. So I'm not gonna say who I was on tour with, just in case they're watching. This was very early in my career. It's like my second big tour. We played Warehouse Live in Houston. It was packed, sold out. I was late getting to the show. I was literally there, like, and I was second on the bill, but I was late getting there. So I did not do sound check. I didn't do anything. I was there just in time to do my show. Kill it, get off stage. There is a young woman with huge boobs and who's very attractive, who is like, oh my God, Som, I love you. I have a crush on you. You're the cutest, like, tee-hee girl crush. And I was just like, oh, really? And she wasn't necessarily my type, but she was coming on very strong. And like, people don't realize how like there are groupies of all genders, right? But women tend to come on very strong when they like you. So she was just like, I just want to talk to you in private. I'm like, okay, like, I just want to see, like, is she fake gay or like what's going on? So we go backstage. There are like tiers of different like green rooms. So I go to one green room and there's a bunch of people who I've been touring with, some of the crew in the room. And one of these dudes sees me walk in with this young woman and he's like, what you doing with Som? And she was like, I love someone. And he was like, but what about me? Like, we've been talking all night. I had no idea, you know? She was like, I love Som. And then
shit. She made a choice.
She made a choice right then and there. And I was just like, oh shit, I didn't really know there's some choosing going on. Like, fuck. So we obviously go to another green room. And we're talking.
This room ain't working out.
We're just talking. And then like at one point, she's just like hugging on me and stuff. There's like really innocent stuff going on. And the dude walks in. And honestly, this is the funniest part. I had a crush on this motherfucker. Like, we had been touring like 2 weeks, and I was like, I kind of am crushing on him. Like, he's cool. Yeah. But when he saw me with this woman that he had already, I guess,
imprinted on
for the night with me, and I'm like, yo, you were like one or two good phrases away from like, we could all like hang out, you know? Yeah. But the fact that he came in and was just kind of like, oh, so that's how you gonna do me? That's how you gonna do me? And like, he walked in, saw us just hugging, was like, that's how you gonna do me? And like walked out and slammed the door. I was like, oh yeah, now I'm gonna be petty. So did not go back to the hotel with them, went to this young lady's house. Believe me, this was not like, not to get too graphic, but we were both on our times of the month. So nothing sexual
was going down.
Yeah.
Anyway, homeboy wasn't going to get it anyway because of that time. Like, it wasn't even about that. She was like, I got weed. I got all this weed. And I was a weed fiend at this point, like, especially on the road. I was like, oh, free weed? She had the most reggiest, mittest, dirt fucking weed. And she was rolling these blunts and menthol blunts. Who the fuck smokes menthol blunts? And I was just like, this bitch is trying to kill me.
Out of Houston, that shit.
He needs some milk.
It was awful.
Shit tastes like a cough drop.
It was dirt weed and menthol blunts. I'll never forget that. That shit was so fucked up. And we like kissed a bit. We just hung out and like listened to music. She was a real like music lover. She was just like a chill person. Ended up being like a fan, and just like, we just like hung out. It wasn't even really like nothing sexual. But the next morning, come back to the fucking tour vehicle. Now everyone's phobic. Now everyone's fucking.
Oh, now everybody's pissed.
What do y'all even do? How can y'all even have sex? Some fucking questions, like of all time. And it was just like, yo, now I see how it is on the road with like thirsty motherfuckers. They're just like, I need a groupie tonight, and like they feel like they're gonna get it, and then they don't get it. Now I'm the bad guy. Like, I didn't even have sex with this person, and I was treated as though I like stole someone's like fiance or something. And it was a very early lesson in like I guess, groupie culture and
Yeah.
how the guys sort of like have these secret competitions. And I don't go for groupies, as it were. I don't really, just for safety reasons. Like,
Right.
you know, because guys will be like, peace queen, I love you, I want to, and I just like, really good. Like, and women
freestyling in your ear.
Yeah.
Yo, listen to this. Let me spit some bars.
Peace, queen, my
Get outta here.
Nubian princess.
Love this show. Now
Yes,
listen to
exactly.
mine.
My black queen don't know them, nigga.
Like, see this ass.
Yeah.
But that
Like
was
free,
just a
you like freestyles? Everybody always starts, hey, you like freestyles? You're like, no,
Thank God.
No.
no one wants to hear a freestyle anywhere except for on the stage. Like, just do it up there. Like, not
Yeah,
That is
exactly.
fucking funny.
But that was just a wild fucking night where like everything wild happened but sex. Not butt sex, but
Right.
except
Right.
everything wild happened except for sex. It was like very much like non-sex, drugs, rock and roll. It was fun. But then I got in like so much trouble with my like tour crewing.
Right.
Like the
Your
crew on
whole
tour,
crew
like
you're with,
everything was
yeah.
changed and I didn't even do anything. It was just your bitch chose me. And it was
I was just
very
gonna say, I was
much
like, you
that
know the name of
energy.
the game, dog?
Yeah, I was just like, okay, now I'm gonna be petty,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Your bitch
Yeah.
chose me and we smoked menthol blunts together. What?
Yeah.
Like
So-
you
Listen
so-
to Erica Badu or whatever the fuck.
you were gonna be sitting there with blue balls and like just Reggie
Just
guts
hating,
all over,
angry.
like
Angry.
Just sitting there hating, mad as fuck.
Ah.
Psalm came back and said, I brought y'all some weed. Guys like crying.
Crying.
Psalm, you took the love of my life. Single tear. God.
Believe it.
On the road. That's independent artists. This is what you get to look forward to when you tour on the road.
Yes.
absolutely.
God, we love having you, Psalm. Before you take off, let people know where they can find you on
Hold
social.
on. We need one song before
Oh yeah,
you do that.
one song that you want to add to our Spotify 5 on 5 podcast playlist. Any song that you're feeling right now.
Let's do Caught a Melody off The Return of Big Perm.
Okay.
Okay, hell
Caught
yeah,
a Melody, yeah, I like that one.
perfect. Trav, you find that?
Got it.
Boom, boom, done and done. Before we take off, let people know where they can find you and any projects you want to promote right now. Anything you want to say.
Okay. I want to say thank y'all for having me. You can find me at Psalm One. Psalm is spelled with a P, PSALMONE on X, on TikTok, Facebook, all of those. Really, psalm1.bandcamp.com is where I'd love for people to go. You can find damn near everything in my catalog there, stuff that's not even on Spotify or any other streamers. The Return of Big Perm is out now, and Her Word is Bond is at all the bookstores everywhere.
Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Psalm 1.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you
you.
so much. We had such a good time. Come back and see us anytime,
Please.
please.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks
This
for
was
having
so
me.
much fun. Psalm, enjoy the rest of your summer. Everyone go peep Psalm's Bandcamp. I would say go over there. The artist gets more revenue, more stream,
Yes.
a bigger chunk of the pie,
Mhm.
as compared to anything else you can do. But yeah, anything else we need to include before we roll out? Neek, Trav?
peace.
Trav.
No, I ain't got none.
Just peace.
All right,
I got
y'all.
none.
Everyone take care. Peace.
Bye.